Hi, how you doing? It's a sad day. It's a bit of a sad day because I'm trading in my beautiful 70-200mm f2.8 through the range. This old lens is going and a new lens is coming. I want to talk a little bit about the pros and cons between the two, although I think it's pretty much that the new one's better. It might just be that simple. Sometimes it's not that simple, but in this case I think it's that simple. So this lens is about 9 years old, and it's the 70-200 ED VR2. And last year Nikon released the one that is called the FL ED VR. Very strange name, but that lens is supposed to be the absolute ants pants when it comes to 70-200 2.8s. The word on the street, it's the best in the world at the moment. As this is a lens that I use a lot, it's certainly use it a lot for my commercial work as well. I've decided to trade in this beautiful piece of hardware that has served me very well and move to the new one. So let me tell you why I love this lens so much and what was so amazing about it. The one I had before this was actually 2 iterations back. I didn't get the one that was directly before this one, which was the 70-200 ED VR. I had the one before that, which was not VR, and it had one big ring here which would both focus and zoom. And I quite like that design. It's a design we don't see anymore. But when I moved from that lens to this lens, I really could see a massive difference by jumping a whole iteration. I cannot fault this lens. There's absolutely nothing I can say that's wrong with this lens. I've said it before, I think it's the very best lens that Nikon make, just from a quality perspective, clarity perspective, chromatic aberration perspective, corner darkness, all those sorts of things. It's just superb. So the upgraded lens is more superb, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this to the shop and trading it in and picking up my new one tomorrow, and I'll talk about the new one. Let's talk about the spec of this one, because the lenses are quite similar. They're both still got a 77mm lens filter. The new one is actually about a tiny bit shorter. There's a 3mm difference in length, so they've actually made the new one slightly shorter. So the minimum focusing distance on this is 1.4 meters. Weight, 1,540 grams. Lens elements, 21. Now this is an interesting one. ED glass elements, this one has more. Fluorite element, no, not one in this one. One of the most controversial things between this one and the new one is that they've changed the order of where the zoom and focus buttons are. So the zoom button is now on the end of the new one. That'll be something new for me to get used to. Let's say goodbye. Oh, goodbye lens. I've loved you. I don't always trade everything in, but you know, you can't keep everything in life, can you? It's better it goes to a good home. So bye-bye. Here we are, we've picked up the beautiful new Nikon lens with this crazy name. It's the FL ED VR. Is it VR3? Who knows? Unboxing to come. And we're back, and look. Here it is, the 70-200, 2.8 through the range, FL ED VR. They don't say VR3, which is interesting, and I'll bring up a point as to why that's interesting shortly. Let's unbox. Here we go. Lid off. Good to see the polystyrene is now gone and it's cardboard. This comes in a very child-unfriendly bag. Recyclable though, which is very important. Let's have a look at what else is in the box. Not much. A manual thing and a strap. Here it is, this beautiful, you know, in Australia this is a $4 grand RRP, but with cashbacks and trade-ins and so on, it cost me about $2.5, and you get a lovely soft bag. Anyway, in we go. And here it is. Swing. Smells new. There it is, with its 4 pre-focusing buttons, the zoom ring on the top, and a few more bits and pieces going on here. Really much the same, except for the 2 versions of AF. Let's go out and take some shots. Wow, well what I can say is, first time I've used this lens, just straight off the bat,
having just stopped using the previous one, the focus is faster, noticeably faster, and the VR is noticeably more stable. It's quite interesting. And the balance in your hand, they've somehow, and this must be to do with moving the zoom ring to here, is the weight is at the back. And so it's much more balanced in your hand. So there's just 3 immediate reactions to this new lens. It's amazing. I am blown away by this. First thing is the focus is lightning fast compared to the previous one, like straight away in good light. Low light I haven't really tested yet. The VR, this is what I'm saying. They should have called it VR3. The VR in this is far superior, far more stable than the previous one. Very impressive. Maybe they just don't want to make claims about it, but it's improved. It's silky, it's gorgeous, it's luscious. Let's talk specifications. Focal length, 70-200. Minimum aperture, 2.8. Maximum aperture, 22. We know that this is a whole 3 mils shorter. It's not all about length, you know. So filter size is the same, 77mm. Great, make sure you get a filter, protect your investment. So the minimum focus distance in the previous lens was 1.4, this is down to 1.1. So this is a useful thing for portraiture and sort of not really macro photography, but close-up photography. Blue-right lens element, it's all about the flaring. This one cuts the flaring. Gonna love it, because I love shooting into the sun. ED glass elements, 6. So this has actually got one more element. That's probably that fluorite one, which is 22 instead of the previous being 21. At the end of the day, good photographic hardware really isn't about all those numbers. It's about whether it fits ergonomically in your world, it can handle the style and the way that you shoot and what you need to shoot, whether you're in the rain or next to a sports field. This lens is a noticeable improvement on the previous one. It's expensive. It's sort of the most expensive 70-200 on the market for the main commercial cameras. I actually think it's worth the extra money. There's obviously the issues of things like focus breathing, which has also been pretty much mitigated with this lens. I think it's good value. I think it's a great lens. I think it's a great upgrade after 9 years. If you don't already have a 70-200 2.8, I'd definitely get this one as opposed to the older one. If you've got the old one, the previous one, the most recent previous one, and money's a thing, I'd probably hold off for a little while. I also did want to say thank you to Nikon, not because they gave me this lens or anything, but thank you to Nikon for promoting me to go get this, because they did have a $600 cashback for a whole 5 days. And I thought, this has got to happen. So thanks for promoting me getting this. I love it. See you next time.